Welcome to World Cup Nomad. I'm the World Cup Nomad. My name is Steve Mascord, and I'm privileged to share 5 minutes of this day in Rob Burgin's life, because I imagine it's quite a big day in Rob Burgin's life. The father of rugby league in Latin and South America. Rob was 72-4 full time. We just started the show, so I've got to say it was England over Brazil, and we're at Headingley. Tell us about your day.
Oh, mate, it's difficult after 10 years to think of the enormity of it, because you're working on it day to day. But when I step back at the end of this, for sure, it's going to be pretty surreal that we've come from a country where there was no footholds before and managed to bring the fifth largest country in the world up to, Rugby League World Cup. And I think what makes it more pleasing for me is rather than it being individual or about our country alone, but just expands the borders of rugby league from Brazil as a launching pad to other countries. And we've shown, we've had to go through this process dealing in a different language to what rugby league was transmitted in. We've had to translate all the rules, etc. So I think this shows what's possible in other nations. And if we stick with it, you saw today, no one's really talked about it, but 100% of those girls are Brazilian born and bred. They all live there, they all were born there. So I think that's really important. We didn't go out recruiting a bunch of mercenaries or people whose heart's in the right place.
What were the things you saw behind the scenes today that sort of, resonated with you?
Oh, I think really that they settled down in that we really saw against France that they were quite nervous. But today, playing at a bigger stadium, they were quite more accustomed to it, and I think that was a surprise. I thought there'd be a lot more anxiety out of the group today, but they were very good. So I think that bodes well for the rest of the tournament in particular.
What about you? You're what on this tour? What are you're doing everything that nobody else is doing? I'm guessing everything that needs doing. What are you actually doing on a day-to-day basis?
I'm sort of just overseeing things as like a general manager. So I'll do everything from coordinate the schedule in the morning to I'm collecting the laundry after this. What else have I done? I'll put the tickets out at the ticket box, So, but also helping, as assistant coach with Paul. So that's been a great experience for me. We don't live far from each other on the Sunshine Coast, and so that's quite a good connection there.
And what about, you would have seen, I'm not going to keep you too long, I know you've got to get back to the girls, but what you would have seen some interesting sort of culture shock and culture clash things since they arrived. We've just heard about the food. Any other stories?
Definitely, a few of them have got caught out with cars on the other side of the road trying to cross the road. That's one that's got them. When we went to York, they were just blown away by how historic that city is in itself. And the girls did. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but the girls ate mushy peas with digestive biscuits. So they used chocolate top digestive biscuits with mushy peas. So they're adventurous, if nothing else.
Well, adventurous. That conversion attempt, Andrew John style conversion attempt from the 10-metre line.
I think everyone's going to see a lot of Patricia Oliveira in this tournament. She's a character, and she's someone that we should really promote for the good of the game.
Now, this is an Everest climb for you. Do you feel do you have an appetite for more Everest, or do you just want to enjoy the view from the top?
No, definitely an appetite for more. We got the South American Championships happens within 2-3 weeks of this, so we're on to the next chapter immediately. We're talking about a Venezuelan team being there for the first time, which is, that's immense, especially considering what Venezuela's been through as a nation. And I can see their female team accelerating more than their men's team as well. So who knows what's going to happen, in a few years' time. I know there's a lot of teams vying for that 16 spots at 2025, but maybe we're going to see some new surprises, not just the same old crew.
It's been an honour to spend 5 minutes of today with you, Rob. Congratulations.
Mate, always great to catch up with you.
Good on you. So our first interviewee was one history maker. It was Rob Burgin, who saw his dream today with Brazil making its debut in the Women's World Cup. And we've got Joanna Lester here, great friend of the show. Used to be on it every Wednesday when we recorded every Wednesday in a pub. Joanna, and I guess your dream after making a film about the 2017 campaign was to get a World Cup win and see the Orchids win a World Cup game, and it happened tonight.
It certainly did. I think everyone from the Orchids will say our dream is not to win one match at this World Cup. It's to go a lot further than that. But definitely, considering we went through the last World Cup without a win, to hear that victory song being sung tonight for the first time at a World Cup was pretty amazing. There were some very emotional players tonight.
And you've been showing the film, have you, here in England since you arrived?
Yes, there's been quite a lot of screenings in the community, in many of the host cities of the World Cup. We are still struggling to get it broadcast. We have been speaking to the BBC about this, and we hope that they'll come through with that. But yeah, definitely a lot more people have seen it in the last few weeks here in England, which is fantastic.
Is there a sequel?
Well, the reason I'm holding a small camera rig right now is that we are gathering some content because we knew some history would be happening at this World Cup, and that will form something like a sequel or at least some kind of follow-up content. So we captured the last World Cup and some of the change that created in Power Mary 1, and the purpose of filming something that may become Power Mary 2 is to continue capturing that change, especially back in PNG for a lot of the PNG-based players. As our captain alluded to after the match today, winning is obviously a big factor in how Women's Rugby League is accepted there and how it will be able to grow.
And I asked Rob this earlier, were there things you saw sort of behind the scenes today that will resonate with you, that maybe we didn't see?
I think just the level of emotion. Obviously, you often see tears of joy when a team wins, but I think there was a lot of relief mixed in with that joy today, as is often the case when the Orchids win. The win over England in 2019 was another example, because a lot of these players have been on a very long journey of acceptance by their communities, by the public, in some cases by their own family. Some of them have spoken publicly about the fact that their families didn't know they were playing rugby league for a while or have taken a long time to accept that. So every win helps that overall acceptance in Papua New Guinea, and that's really important.
Final hard-hitting, searching question. Are you coming to the pub now?
I'm sure everyone deserves a drink after that victory.
But you have to go to a different pub.
The players won't be having a drink, and the staff, such as me, have a lot to do after that, lots of things to post on social media. So I'm sure this win will be celebrated appropriately, and we've only got a few days before our next match against Brazil in Hull.
Well, you've been in the country a couple of weeks since the first time I've seen you, so congratulations.
Thank you, it's lovely to see you.